Our world is constantly progressing. We live in the age of rapid technological growth when humanity has reached incredible heights, both literally and figuratively. We have conquered space, summited Mount Everest, learned to fly faster than the speed of sound. It would seem there are no limits. However, imagine if all of that suddenly vanished in an instant. The skies would become empty again, the depths of the oceans once more insurmountable, and travels to distant lands dangerous and new. And yet, that is precisely what the world would have looked like had a brilliant man not sketched designs for fabulous flying machines centuries ago, or harnessed the power of sun and wind, or devised special suits for safe diving expeditions. This man was called Leonardo da Vinci. Most of his incredible inventions would not come to life until centuries later, fundamentally changing the lives of millions. This story is striking. Listen on. He was born in a small Italian town of Vinci around 5 centuries ago, in 1452. The boy named Leonardo stood out from early childhood for his intelligence and passion for art and science. He was interested in absolutely all spheres of knowledge: painting, sculpture, botany, anatomy, geology, physics, mathematics, mechanics. The lad also adored observing birds and insects, studying their flight. At the age of 14, Leonardo became an apprentice at the workshop of the famous Florentine artist Verrocchio. Here, the young genius studied painting and sculpture, but his curious mind sought to comprehend even more. Leonardo constantly made sketches, drafts, drawings of some mechanisms, machines, aircraft. He dreamed that one day these projects could come true. Among Leonardo's countless inventions that are still used today, one of the most well-known is the parachute. Back in the 15th century, Leonardo created detailed drawings of a device for a safe vertical descent of a human from altitude. His parachute resembled a pyramid made of interwoven cloth on a wooden frame. Although Leonardo himself did not test his design, his idea was brought to life much later. It was only in 1783 that the Frenchman Jean-Pierre François performed the world's first parachute jump from the height of 600 meters. In 1797, the Frenchman André Garnerin improved the parachute, making it umbrella-shaped, which enhanced control and made the parachute more efficient. In 1912, the American Albert Berry invented the folding parachute, which became the prototype of modern parachutes. His invention marked a new stage in the parachute technology development, ensuring greater safety and ease of use. Today, parachutes are widely used for rescue of flight crews, paratroopers, firefighters, as well as for sports and recreation. There are varieties of round and wing-shaped parachutes. Every year, millions of parachute jumps are made around the world. This vital invention owes its emergence to the brilliant mind of Leonardo da Vinci. Another revolutionary project of the great inventor was the helicopter. In his notes, he thoroughly described and sketched an apparatus with a screw-shaped blade that is capable of vertical ascent. These ideas of Leonardo's inspired engineers much later. On November 13, 1907, the French inventor Paul Cornu was the first ever to lift a helicopter of his own design off the ground. During this flight, the helicopter rose to the height of about 12 inches and stayed midair for 20 seconds. This event played a crucial role in the helicopter aviation advancement. In 1936, the German aviation engineer Heinrich Fock created the world's first helicopter. However, another prominent engineer, Igor Sikorsky, contributed greatly to helicopters' evolution. Igor Sikorsky was a Ukrainian aviation engineer who established his own company in the United States and manufactured the first successful helicopter. On September 14, 1939, he lifted his first helicopter, the VS-300, off the ground in the United States. Nowadays, there exists a wide variety of civil and military helicopters. They have become an integral part of everyday life and various industries. Largely thanks to Leonardo da Vinci's brilliance, this technology gained strong impetus for development and has a promising future. By the way, did you know that on May 14, 2005, the French pilot Didier Delsol landed an Eurocopter S-350 Squirrel helicopter at the peak of Mount Everest? at the height of 8,848 meters. It was truly an unprecedented achievement, given extremely low air density that makes flights very complicated at this altitude. Sally became the first, and so far, the only person who managed to land a helicopter at the highest point on the planet. Another of Leonardo's inventions, actively used nowadays, is a diving suit. The Renaissance genius devised a special diving garment consisting of a sturdy jacket, pants, and helmet back in the 15th century. In the 1710s, English inventors John Lethbridge created the first waterproof diving costumes with glass visors. The helmets back then were separate barrels or boxes not attached to the suit. In the early 18th century, the first hermetic diving costumes with glass portholes and mittens appeared. In the 1830s, British engineer Augustus Seaby connected the helmet and suit into a single system that became classic diving gear for years to come. In the 19th century, impermeable caoutchouc material was widely used for manufacturing of diving suits. Modern diving suits used in industry and scientific research are based on concepts developed by Leonardo and subsequent brilliant innovations. By the way, the deepest dive in a diving suit, 831 feet, was recorded in 2012 by Herbert Nitsch, an Austrian freediver who holds 33 world records and the title of the deepest man on Earth. Leonardo da Vinci made an important contribution to advancement of underwater exploration technologies, and his legacy continues to live on in state-of-the-art engineering solutions. Leonardo also suggested harnessing solar power for heating and cooking. He devised a solar furnace with mirrors and lenses to focus sunlight. These ideas found their practical implementation much later owing to the research of photoelectric effect and invention of solar cells in the 19th century. On April 25, 1948, scientists at Bell Laboratories announced the invention of the first silicon solar cell battery to produce electricity with an efficiency of about 6%. In the 1970s, efficient silicon photoconverters emerged. Today, solar power capacities have reached hundreds of megawatts globally. Recently, the world's largest floating solar station was launched in China's Anhui province. Its power amounts to 650 megawatt. The total power of all solar plants around the globe reaches 628 gigawatt, roughly 3% of global energy generation. But solar energy's share grows rapidly by 20 annually, thanks to the groundbreaking ideas of Leonardo da Vinci. Thus, Leonardo's ingenious vision of harnessing solar energy served as the starting point for its practical implementation and the explosive growth of solar technology to a modern-day robust level. The ingenious inventor also sketched one of the earliest drawings of a bicycle, a two-wheeled vehicle propelled by human power. His idea was brought to life only a few centuries later. Now the bike remains the most widespread personal vehicle in the world. Over 100 million bicycles are sold annually. The first two-wheeled bicycle was built by German inventors Baron Karl von Drais in 1817. By the 1860s, bicycles emerged equipped with pedals and an oversized front wheel relative to the rear one. And in 1885, the Englishman John Kemp Starley, the founder of the Rover Company, patented the modern bike design with a chain drive transmitted to the rear wheel. Nowadays, many cyclists set new speed records on bikes. The highest speed record on flat terrain is 83 miles per hour, and the average long-distance speed record is 60 miles per hour during the 8 days long race across America from the East Coast to the West Coast of the USA. It was set by the Austrian racing cyclist Christoph Strasser in 2013. The brilliant boy from Vinci came up with such amazing things 5 centuries ago. His ideas were so far ahead of their time that only now we start fully realizing the scale of Leonardo's genius. His incredible imagination, perseverance, and tireless curiosity allowed him to bestow the world with countless inventions across different fields. Most of his designs were implemented only after his demise, but namely Leonardo da Vinci, with his creative brilliance, brought humanity to a new level of scientific and technological advancement. Whenever we enjoy the fruits of his ideas, we feel the touch of magnificence of that Renaissance man who has forever transformed our world.